Hello everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Power Platform Meetup. Sorry, I had some network issues at my side, so start a little late. And it's good to have every one of you here, and hope uh, the session will keep you all geared up. So in today's agenda, yes, Vivek. So in today's agenda, let me quickly share you about D365 champs. So we are a dynamic CRM as well as Power Up community. For a brief timeline, as you can see in the screen, we started somewhere around 2018 with the community leads from Southeast Asia, where we saw that we need a group of people who can talk and share about the same technical experiences and the journey so far. So that's how the D365 Champs community started. And then moving on from after a year, we have now 10 leads all across country. So the first ever chapter happened in Singapore, and it was good. People from around Singapore did came. It was a nice session, and over the period of time, the number of leads that were there when the chapter started from three, it went to global, and we are still expanding. So coming to 2020, I know this is in the COVID situation, it is drastic and everyone is frustrated. But even though we have leads in Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, South Africa, United Kingdom, and everywhere else. So over the period of time, in 3 to 4 years now, we have moved a family from 15, 20 people to more than 5,000 people on LinkedIn. We have people on Kaizala also. That is a Microsoft application, just like WhatsApp, where people come and share technical queries, answer the technical quiz, or any issues that they have, the queries. So that's like a mini community on its own on the Kaizala. So you can also join. And in future, what we have done is we have a lot of meetups coming up. So we did some in the past. For Indore, we started with Indore, and then we moved to Hyderabad. We did for Mumbai. Today we are doing for Pune, and in the next coming up, we have Chennai, NCR region, and then Bangalore also. And if you want to stay connected with us, you can see on the screen, we have the LinkedIn, Twitter, and Kaizala. You can also scan the QR code if you're taking it from the laptop, so that you can have us on board with us. And further, if you want to speak at one of the Power Platform Meetup champs, you can see the tiny URL. You can ping us there, your sessions and details, and some of us will join you. Vivek, could you
Right.
please take ahead?
Yep. So the next thing is what are the quick updates in last couple of weeks, because it's been 15 days we don't had any meetup. So Microsoft has acquired Softmotive, another application company, and that is a kind of RPA now, and that's the biggest news. More than that, there is another big change in Microsoft, and in terms of naming convention. The CDS is now renamed to Dataflex Pro, and there is another version to it, is the Dataflex, which will be used for Teams as well as Office 365 as the applications. About an updates, Bin automation is now available for UI flows, which you can go and search more on. And there are some coming up sessions on the UI flows as well with us. Inspire, which has recently happened, and over the 3 days, and this time I think it was the first time when it happened virtually, and it was available for all. Otherwise, it used to be a kind of a closed event where you have to register and reach out to the places. But here it happened on a virtual platform totally, and it was really insightful, and there were so many new announcements and kind of insights were given in this particular Inspire. Wave 2 2020 details, they are released now, and you can actually go and see that into a beta versions, and at certain areas they have been released. So you need to surely go and look at them. There are really new good features which Microsoft has coming up with. Then there was one initiative which we had mentioned in the last meetup, that is Empower. to the students or the colleges with the technologies, which is the Power Platform, and that has started yesterday itself. And the first session or the first empowerment session was done by Prashant in one of his colleges in I think Gurgaon, and that's how we have started with the Empower as well. Now, what are the coming up meetups for us? On 15th of August, we have Delhi NCR and Gurgaon uh, session, which will be presented by Preeti, and that is on to extending portal capabilities with the liquid templates. This is again a good technical session where you can see some hands-on experience on the portal and liquid templates. The next session will be done by Mr. Yawer Iqbal, that is on to Power Apps in MS Teams, which is another good session because Teams is coming up with new features to have the apps with it, and Yawer will take you through all the features on it. And the month's last session is will be given by Roma itself, and that is on a basics of Power Apps, where she will be giving you all the basics and kind of how not to do the Power Apps things. And that's what we have for the August. There is a calendar which we are also publishing onto the Microsoft site, where Dipesh will speak on to more on that, and you can actually follow up on these things. So Dipesh, on to you for the next slide.
Thank you, Vivek. So yeah, I'll just like to take the time to thank the community and D365 Champs for giving the opportunity to Dynamicity. We work exclusively on Microsoft Dynamics and Power Platform and implementation, upgrades, managed services, and training. Uh, we have taken initiative to sponsor some of these events and meetups. If you are a partner or if you are somebody who is also ready to support the community, there are a lot of things that go behind in organizing. You're very welcome. You can get in touch with any of the leads. Coming to what I talked about the calendar, yes, of course, I've been working with Microsoft, and all this content will go to the Microsoft community site. That's a new update. I've not got it through completely yet, but we are going to have this synced up to the actual community site, and all our calendars will be synchronized to that particular community site. That's how really when multiple people from at least 22 countries that are active at the moment across the globe, when they get activated right from down south, down under in Australia, we have Prashant, to I think Sarup joined from US today, and there is everything in between. And Microsoft is going to help us with the synchronization. All the things that we are doing here will be also put up on as a synchronized feed to the community site as well. That was a recent update. I will leave it to you, Roma or Vivek now to introduce Sagar, and then we can continue with the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dipesh. So today's speaker is Sagar Rupani. He is another consultant. He has 6+ years experience into industry and major experience into dynamics. A hardcore technical guy and very good into innovations. So Sagar will again go ahead and introduce himself in his slides. Sagar, this is on to you. Please take a control and share your screen.
Thank you, Vivek.
Yeah, Sagar, 1 second. So again, letting everybody be aware, because for the benefit of the community, we do record this session. So I'm taking Prashant's normal thing. We are recording this. If you do not want to be recorded, feel free to leave the session right now, because we will record it and then it will be posted to the Champs YouTube channel, which everybody can consume at a later stage. And if you have any queries, we have already left, you can put it on the chat window. Both the organizers will be moderating the session. And yes, Sagar is a really great techie on Power Platform. I leave it to you now, Sagar.
Thank you, Vivek. Just anyone please confirm my screen is visible to you.
Yes, we can see it, Sagar.
Okay, Vivek.
Right.
Okay. So, guys, this is Sagar Rupani. Vivek has introduced me a lot of with lot of skill set. So, today's topic we are going to cover custom connectors, deep dive in Power Platform. Okay. Okay. So this is just basic about me. Vivek has already told that I'm consultant in Dynamics 365 Power Platform and working as a consultant in Dynamics Elements Private Limited in Ahmedabad, and having 6+ years of experience working in Microsoft Dynamics and Power Platform. So let's move ahead with the agenda for today's agenda for the custom connector. So what we are going to cover here is custom connectors overview, then why we need to create a custom connectors, then steps to create custom connectors, and of course demo or building the custom connectors. Okay, so custom connectors. So first of all, connectors. Let's talk about connectors. There are around 300 plus pre-built connectors are available in the Power Platform, which we can use for Power Automate, Power Apps, and Azure. It's just wrapper around APIs. Like if there is an external system which you need to connect pull or push data from the external system, then there are lots of connectors, pre-built lots of connectors are available for that communicate with those systems. So it basically leverages the set of pre-built actions and triggers which we can use over apps and workflows. As I mentioned earlier, that there are a lot of pre-built connectors are available. Even though when we need a particular for particular system which might not be available with the pre-built connectors. So at the time, the communication will be difficult for us. We need to use API and do those kind of technical things. And as a Power Platform, Microsoft is providing the thing as a low code or less code. So they have introduced this Power Platform custom connectors. So the once you have created the custom connector from technical team, it can be used by the custom developers also. So uh, let's move ahead with next. Why custom connectors? So there are mainly four things which I'm going to describe here today, like availability. So as I said, once you have created the custom connectors with relevant actions and triggers, it can be used multiple times. So you don't need your custom developers. Sorry, citizen developer will not need any kind of technical thing. They just need to call and use that particular custom connection. Then easy to use. Yes, that's why just it's a layer of the API. So again, there you don't need to, if you are a sorry, citizen developer, then you don't need any kind of customization or anything which needs while we are creating a communication with API. Then cost savvy, definitely the main point is over there. Cost savvy, why it is cost savvy? As I have seen, as per my experience, I have seen there are so many pre-built connectors which comes with the premium licensing, and sometimes we have the requirement from the our end customer that we don't want to purchase this kind of licenses just because of these only connectors. At that time, if you have a skill of technical things, then you can build build custom connector using your APIs. Then setting to partners, yes, definitely when you create your any custom connector, you're definitely going to share with your partners or with your teams so they can enhance and utilize that custom connector. Now, okay, now let's move ahead with life cycle. Every development or everything needs some life cycle. So here in life cycle, what first step is build and securing your API. This is something like pro developer thing. As I mentioned earlier, that if you have legacy system and if you want to leverage that legacy system in Power Automate or Power Apps, at that time you need to create a bridge that is called a particular API. So you can create API over Azure, AWS, whatever you place. Then you need to leverage that API in the connector, which is called as custom connector, which we are going to develop in a few minutes. So in the next step, when you describe your API in the custom connector, and you also need to define the connector things like actions and triggers. Those parts are coming in the next slides. So I'll teach you later on. Now, when you are done with the connector with testing, you can use your connector. This is the third phase of life cycle of connector. Then there are another one phase is coming is sharing your connector. Definitely, you can share your connector with your partners, your teammates, or you can even your export your connectors with managed solution. So at other instance can be leverage it. Then certify your connector. The last two phases like sharing your connector and certifying your connector both are optional. And the last one, certify your connector, is a a bit difficult thing. Like you if you are going to providing this your custom connection to particular general public, like you can set as a template and ask Microsoft to put into the Power. As you may have seen, if you have used Power Automate, then you may have seen there are lots of connectors are available. So that are the template connectors, and anyone can leverage it. But certifying your connector is a bit lengthy process. Like you have to register for it with Microsoft, then submit your connector. Microsoft will verify, and then it will get for available for general public. So this is the basic life cycle of this custom connector. Any questions so far?
You can continue, Sagar. If
Oh,
anything is there, we'll raise it to you.
thank you. Now these are the custom connected components, like just basic information. I'll describe it in depth in later on slides. Like general information, then security details, like what kind of authorization type we are going to use. Then collection definition. These are the four main components while we are creating your custom connector. One is action, second triggers, then reference and policies. So let's move ahead in depth for actions. So actions is just the activities which allows you to pull and push data from the services. Like you want to get data from your any external system, or you want to push into the external system where they are allowing. So you can do it. There are basically seven types of request: get, post, put, head, options, fetch, and delete. Most probably, people when they are just fetching data, people are using get in regular basis. So then the core part is endpoint URL. Yes, definitely you need to provide the API URL so you can access it from your external system. Then there are optional things that are headers. You can put custom headers as a request. Then body, you can add payload to append the request. And at the end response, you will get the response from the action, whether it is successful or failed, which I'll show you in the demo. Now the second component is trigger. This is the thing which it name itself suggests, like whenever any event occurs at the given API level, it goes trigger. Like it will automatically invokes the connector to respond to the specific event. There are basically two types of trigger: pooling and webhook. Pooling is basically works with specific frequently, like you have specified that your trigger should fire at 12 at midnight every day. And on another part, webhook, that is just like real time. Whenever any event happens, at that time it automatically invokes this custom connector. Now, third one is reference. This is a bit a technical thing. Like earlier, it was not available. Like it is when you are creating multiple actions. At that time, it will be available. Like you want to take reference of the another action. At the moment, you need to use reference tag for which refers the individual actions. But this, as I said, this is the technical thing. So you need to do it in Swagger because no UI is available. Even there is no any button is available to add this reference as of now. But looking forward to have this in future, so people, so citizen developer can also access this reference type. Now the another one is policy. Yes, when we are creating something custom, there should be some policy. It is optional thing whether you want to do whether want to add or not. Earlier, before 2019 web 2 release, the policies were not available. It was only available for pre-built connectors. So after this 2019 web 2 release, they have introduced these policies. So it is used to modify the behavior of connectors at runtime, like without uh, without adding any kind of headache to the end user. And as I said, policies are used extensively by many pre-built connectors. Policies is basically used, for example, it allows you to limit the number of calls from connections on one or more operations in your connector. Also, you can use other policies to fix headers or parameters. Even you can modify the fields and the parameters using the policy of custom connector. So these are the main four components of the custom connector. Now, what we are going to cover in today's demo. Basically, I have two demo to share with you if time allows. Otherwise, at least one I'm going to start within few minutes. So, as we have seen, there are 5 steps for custom connector in life cycle. So in our demo, we are not going to create any API or doing security things of API over here. Also, we are not going to certify the connector because, as I said, it's a bit lengthy process and we need the days or maybe week to get it certified. So here we are going to create a connector with the basic actions and with no authorization API. Then we will use this API, this connector in Power Automate, and also we'll show you how we can share this connector with the users, and also how to ship it with the with the solution as we are doing with CDS as well as Dynamics 365. So it's time for demo. Let's move ahead for demo. Vivek, is there any questions in comments so far, or shall I move forward
No
for
questions, Sagar.
okay.
There is one just from Ashish. Can you briefly touch upon the process for what you are not covering?
Sorry, Vivek, your voice is breaking up. Could you please repeat?
So Ashish is asking, can you briefly touch upon the process for what you are not covering in the demo? So
Okay.
Prashant, there are two things which he is not covering. One is building the API. Okay, means I'll take that particular answer, Sagar, if you want.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yes.
because building that API will require kind of writing a lot of code, pulling the data and hosting on that particular API. Okay, and that's where it will take almost few hours if we want to do that. And the last is certify the connector. That is will not be covered over here. The reason is, as Sagar already said, Microsoft needs involvement over here because it is published for all the public across the world. So that will not be the part, but here he'll do the rest of the things.
Yeah. And other than, I just want to add upon that we are not going to use policies as well as trigger and reactions over here because uh, triggers might need some particular actions over the external system. As I'm using the third party API, and I'm not sure whether they are triggering those actions from their end. So we are not going to trigger. Also, we are not implementing any policy. So we can keep our demo clear and I'm thinking that many people are novice with the custom connectors. So I just want to keep my demos as simple as possible so they can understand and they can try this weekend and don't want to just confuse with the lots of things like authentication and other things. I'll explain over there, but we'll keep this demo very simple. So people will start it is from a particular end. Okay, Vivek, I'm moving forward for demo.
Sure, please.
Is my screen is visible?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, so basically what we practicing since Dynamics 365 is that we are creating a particular solution for any kind of components like whether it is flow, power apps, connector, or anything else. So I'm starting with the solution which I have created custom connector. Before that, let me explain you what we are going to what I'm going to show you in today's demo. So let me first tell you the problem. The when we are using the when we are using multiple currency, let's say I'm having instance in India, that is INR currency. Apart from that, I'm working with the multiple currency. At that time we need to continuously or periodically update our currency exchange rate in our Dynamics 365 system. So here what I found is one very good website is available, Flow Trades, which provides a updated currency rate for variety of currencies, and it updates at every 12 hours, basically 12 hours as per my knowledge. So we are just leveraging this the API from this website. You can get this website and just check. You can see it provides JSON feed as well as XML feed, whatever fits. Here I'm taking the JSON feed as a result. So uh, currency updation, the main motto behind developing behind this custom connector is to leverage this external API or external website to update our currency exchange rate in Dynamics 365. So let's start with adding new connector. You can find it in others. There you can have custom connector. Now, okay, so these are the general thing. Let me define the name. Uh, currency, currency. The basic things like you can provide a particular logo for it, so it will be easy to find it. Then there is optional thing icon background. Provide the description like update, get. There is one also thing that is if you have your connection with on-premise data gateway, then you can also connect with this. We are using the online one, then that's why we are skipping this one. Then there is a comes in picture is scheme that is to HTTP and HTTPS. So we are going to use HTTPS. Most probably most of the APIs are supporting right now HTTPS. So let me just copy the URL for this. Then base URL, that is fine, we can just keep as it is. This is the just general information for a custom connector. Now the main thing which we should take care properly. There are 4 authentication types. That is the no authentication, basic authentication, API key, and OAuth2. Uh, in basic authentication, you just need to put username and password. And if you are using API keys, if your APIs are secure with the API key, then parameter you can fix it here with query or header. Then you have OAuth 2.0. That will I guess there is the latest one which most of us are using, and you have to just even they have provided almost 10 to 12 out of box identity provider which we can use and utilize for our system. If we have anything like Facebook or live Pinterest, Salesforce, Slack, and other things. You have to just provide this basic feature. Currently, for my demo, just to keep clean and easy, I'm not going to use any of these authentication type, because we most probably we are already familiar with this and just need to pass the required details. So in this demo, I don't need any authentication. This is just open API which I'm using the flow trades. So I'm done with the security. Now moving towards the third phase, that is the definition. Yeah, the four components which I have mentioned earlier in the PPT: action, trigger, reference, and policies. Although we are not going to use these three things, but I'll show how it looks while you are developing for your end for your custom connection. The basic, the first thing you need to create it is action. Give us some handsome name. uh, some then operation ID, just space between it, so you need to be careful about that. Thing about operation ID, it should be unique. Like it should be unique for this particular connector. If you are using multiple actions, or even you are using trigger, then it will not allow you to use the same operation ID. And then visibility, there are mainly three visibility. No, I'm not considering none one. So advanced, internal, and important. What happens with the importance? When you use important, it will directly give the text box for your parameter which you need to pass from the front end, like Power Automate or Power Apps or Logic App. Then internal is a bit like it will not going to show your parameter, or which it's like it's hiding the parameter. But make sure that when you are using the internal one, you must sure that you must use the default parameter value, otherwise it will get failed. Then in advance, it's just like if you are familiar with Power Automate, and you are we are using the various sections, you will find that click particular button like so other things and other things. If I'm saying that this parameter is optional and I don't want to bother people more about that, then I can use the advanced over there. And if end user wants to
Sorry to
give,
interrupt, Sagar. We are losing your voice.
oh sorry, uh, uh, from where did you lose my voice?
Yeah, it seems, Sagar, that you are a bit far from your speaker. That's all.
Uh, is it better?
Yep,
Yeah, it's
much
better.
better.
Yeah. Better.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, uh, I'm starting from the first, the important one in which you need to your parameters will be visible to in front. You need to don't need to click over so other option and other things. Internal, you need to your parameters will be hidden from the external, even though you have used some parameters, but it will not be visible as a text box, input box to the end users. And advanced, if you think that there are more parameters there, then you can use advanced visibility option, so that you can put particular link like show other things and that thing. For now, I'm just keeping it as it is, none. I'm doing none. Then the another part for particular action is coming is request. For request, as I said, there are seven verbs: get, delete, post, put, head, and options and patch. So here my API needs a get. So I'm just putting my URL over here. Okay, let me tell you about this thing. So basically, my actual URL, let's say I'm asking this API to return me the all exchange rate against INR. So my actual URL will be like this, but we are creating a connector. So whatever the currency I'm passing from the front, Power Automate or Power Apps, it will be taken as a parameter, and we should keep one parameter name like this. For here, I'm writing like this. So, like from Power Automate, I'm passing like USD, then URL will be like USD.json. Uh, is my voice is audible to everyone? Vivek?
Yes, yes, you can go
Okay.
ahead, sir.
Okay.
Crystal clear, Saga, right now.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Here I will just place my URL along with the parameter, which is going to be supplied from the front side or Power Apps or Power Automate. Then I just need to click on. If you have headers, extra headers, then just paste it here. Then you will get to import it. Okay, okay. So one more thing you can see at here, that is the validation. Let's say if you are not if you forgot to add anything or you have misplaced something, then you will get the validation over here. This is one beautiful feature what I found in Power Custom Connector. So every time don't forget to check this validation error. If you found if there is any error, then just go that part and correct it. Mm. Okay, and yes, we are done with action request. Yes, the parameter which we are passing, you can see as a query here. It will automatically generate this one. If you just want to describe this particular parameters, then you can just write about this and summarize and default value. If you use this uh, important as a visibility, then you must have to provide the default value. And there is a thing is that it is required mandatory or non-mandatory. And then we have type, which type of parameter is this, and drop down type statics and dynamic, that we are not using as of now, because we need to provide some values for that. And so we are keeping is it is disabled. Okay, now, okay, okay, now you have to provide a response. It is it is good to provide some body, JSON body, which you are expecting. So I have already generated the body for the expected. So here it will automatically validate your schema. Let's sorry. Let's say if you misplaced or you have done something wrong with your JSON, then it will not allow you to import this one. It will ask. It will say that body is not valid JSON. So about the JSON, it will validate here and just import it. Okay, now validation is perfect. Good. Response we have done. Now let's move ahead with the trigger, which I'm not going to create, but just to show it is having same general and things like the request. The only things you can see is trigger type, which we mentioned. If you want to if you want to use pulling, that will fetch data periodically or at mention period. If you want to get it real time data, if whenever the particular records get created or external API, and if you want real data, then you can use webhook. Also, you can have same request type like which we have seen in a Excel. So as a part, both are looks good same, and just the difference is trigger type, and that's it. Now just I'm deleting this one because I'm not going to use this. Reference, as I said, there is no UI available for reference. There is no UI available for reference. and we need to do. There is a Swagger editor, so we
Sagar,
need
just
to.
one thing. Would you like to take the questions towards the end or as you go?
I would like to take it in because I guess I'll be having a short time, so that's why.
Okay, no problem.
Saga, don't be
Okay.
worried of time. We are going to see, at least few of us are going to see both the demos. Don't worry.
Okay, that's great. Okay, cool. Okay, even though I would like to take questions at the end, so
Yep.
is it fine? So you
Yep.
guys,
So there is a question from Preeti.
okay.
How did you get the response JSON sample? Can you create one? Can you just show her how the JSON response is seeing over here?
Uh, just a second. Okay, she want to see responses. Yeah, it is like formatted. The, it's like it's the response is the schema property along with type and other things.
Hi,
Preeti, if you
Sagar.
want, you can unmute yourself and ask
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
want
yeah.
to ask it something.
Yes, thank you so much. Sagar, I wanted to understand, did you create a sample JSON object there, or did you get it from somewhere from the website?
Okay. No. I get it from the website. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is the website, and I get it from the
This
particular
part,
website.
this part, Preeti, probably he had already gone through, so you can look at the recording later. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Thank
Did
you.
he go through that? Okay.
Yeah, he already did. Yeah,
Right.
Sagar, you can continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So yeah, that was the now we have done with the trigger and references. What I was talking about references, this references we cannot edit or create it from the UI because you will not get any button to create references, so you need to edit this Swagger. I'm not a big fan of Swagger, so I'll just keep it here. Because even if to use reference you must have two access, and right now we are using just one. Apart from that policy, yes, the thing which is very important while you are just while you are going to provide this as a general for general usage, there are few templates available for policies which you can embed, convert array, convert object, and set host URL. As I mentioned, that it will, override the particular behavior of the actions and the custom connectors. So, but again, I'm not going to use it here, policies, because it's a bit lengthy, and it will definitely, you know. Make it will definitely make this connector a bit lengthy, also heavy loaded. So okay, so we are done with the request process, and now it's time to create a connection. So it will build connector name cannot be longer than to say something. Okay. Now it's we are creating the connector with our mentioned um, request among the action. Yeah, successfully. So we have successfully created our custom connector. Now it's time to test. So we are providing before you move ahead for test, you need to create a new connection for that. So yes, then it automatically creates the new connection, and now the parameter which we have seen over here. Yes, this variable currency that they are asking here in the test, that what in for what currency you need the exchange rate. So let's say I want exchange rate for I. We are in India. Sorry, people outside India. So yes, the status response status is okay. It means successfully. What we are getting is USD, the JSON format. Preeti, it might resolve your question. Like you are getting this response.
I got it, sir.
Right. Yeah. So it is responding as the various currency with exchange rate, updated exchange rate, which might update it before 1 or 2 hours, maybe one. Okay, so that's it. We are done with our connector. Now the question arises that how to use connector. We are done with the second life the stage of the life cycle. We have developed connector with definition and APIs, and we have also tested. Now it's time to use this connector. So I'm not going to create a whole flow, as I have already created one flow which updates the currency rate in my CRM. So here you can see that we have this and this currency with random exchange rate. Definitely this is not the real one. I have updated it with some random numbers, and we are going to update these currencies with the real-time exchange rate against the Indian rupees, because my Indian rupees, you can see this, Indian rupees is my base currency. So I'm going to update other currencies with its relevant exchange rate. Okay. So yeah, I have already created flow for that. This flow leverages the custom connector which we have created. The name, the connector is same, just name is different because I have used uh, uh, the connector which I have already created before a couple of minutes. So what it does to update the currency rates in CRM, it's recurrence, so it updates every day. This flow runs every day at 12 midnight IST. Then I'm initializing my base currency, that is INR. You can use your own, whatever your base currency. Then this is just to initialize a variable with the float, and then this is the main thing which we need to discuss. Oh, what I have done is I have just done one thing to leverage your custom connector. You need to click on the custom, then you will find this one, exchange rate. Yeah, that's it. Now you will get your custom connector over here. Now just provide a particular currency, the base currency in again in which you want to get in against which you want to get exchange rate for the currency. So my currency name is this. So I'll keep just assume that here is INR which I have supplied through this variable. I'm just removing this because we will have two custom connector over there. In the next step, what I have done, I have just taken list of all the currency except base, because you can't update the base currency, and many people many people are working with Dynamics, and you have seen that if you are going to try update the base currency, then it will fail. So just we are omitting the base currency, and even there is no any matter to update the base currency because it will remain one only. So now applying each, and they have taken particular currency record, and I'm just you know setting the exchange rate which I got from the custom connector, that is the get currency record, my custom connector name, and I have pasted over here. Then I'm updating particular currency with the latest exchange rate which you have got from the this API or custom connector. So let me just run this. Yeah. is running. It's applied all the currencies in JSON format, and now yes, flow is successful. Okay, so let's check the currency. This is the older one before update. Now let's check the whether currency get updated or not. I think I'm facing with the slow internet. That's why it's taking a bit time. Meanwhile, any
There is one
questions so far?
question,
Yes, please.
Sagar, from my side actually. So you showed it using the custom connector using flow. What are the
Yes.
other ways we can use the custom connectors other than flows?
Yeah, we can utilize in Power Apps and Logic App. If you are using your Power App, in my next example, I'll show with the Power Apps. So how to leverage this custom connector and how to consume the data which is providing by the custom connector in the Power Apps. For Logic apps, I think I don't have any demo as of now because I have met only with these two main components, Power Apps and Power Automate. Yeah. So result is there. So earlier exchange rate were like this, any random number, and now we have updated this exchange rate with this updated rates which we have accessed using custom connector. So, any questions regarding this demo or any power automate thing?
Yeah, Sagar, I have
Nothing.
one.
Okay, sorry.
So I wanted to understand in Power Automate or in Azure Logic apps, is there
Mhm.
any other way of fetching data from open APIs?
Yes, you can fetch it. Yeah,
But other than custom connectors, is there any other way?
yeah, you can access it in Power Automate. You can use the HTTP. That is one action is available
Okay.
that you can access over here. But what happens is that every time whenever you create a new flow of Power Automate, you need to put all the informations over here. And also it might be difficult for citizen developers like people who are coming from the only um, customization background and not much aware about the APIs and other things. They have to think bit about that. Also, it also sometimes happens like security reason. You can if you are just using this HTTP like as an API, then you have to provide all the things over here. Instead of that, if you are creating a custom connector, then the only the top level people or who are the uh, admin level access. They just need the tokens and all this stuff. The end user who is applying custom connector over Power Automate doesn't need to bother about those things, and also security will not be the concern when you are using custom connection.
Basically, you're trying to just get rid of the pain of creating the same thing all over again.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So reusability is the main motto behind this.
Behind
Uh,
custom connectors, okay.
yes.
Okay. And do you have any idea why do we have Azure Logic apps separately? Why not? Why is it a different, implementation altogether? What is the relationship between Power Automate and Azure Logic apps?
Sorry, because I'm not that much
So
Azure guy.
I'll take that up. So
Yeah,
Okay.
as
please.
far as I am aware, Preeti, it is basically Power Automate is a low code way. We have a low code warrior with us. He must be hearing it from Australia. I will not take his thunder, but Prashant, yeah, that is a low code way if you use Power
Yes.
Automate. But under the hook, everything is technical, whether we like it or not. And that is Azure Logic Apps. As far as I checked last, or I was made aware by anybody. Officially, we cannot, but it should be something like a Azure Logic App behind the scene. But in Power Platform, we are trying to do a low code, no code way of automation as well, right? Whereas in Azure Logic Apps, you really need a technical skill set. You cannot just go and build one. But I can be just airport officer, just like somebody who's working in an airport and end up building tons of Power Automate. The example I'm taking is from Sumit Sani from Heathrow Airport, right? But if I needed to build Azure Logic Apps, I really needed technical skills. All right.
Okay, but it is not
Yeah.
a part of Power Automate or Power Platform.
No, look,
No,
no, it's not a part of
it's not.
that. The question you've asked is very good, but I think Microsoft will be able to explain it better. The Because we understand it differently. So what Deepesh said is absolutely right. For example, if there is a pro dev available, they would probably prefer using Logic apps.
Mm.
But if there's somebody like me who doesn't need to even look at codes or just want to ignore code or programming altogether, they'll probably use Power Automate because it's an easy way of doing things without having the knowledge of programming. That's what the difference we can explain. But why did they launch two separate lines? I think this might be the reason they wanted to
This is
make it stand separate for separate people
Yeah,
with
Prashant, that
skill
is
sets.
that is completely agreed, right? The obvious reason is the industry is moving towards low code, no code automation platforms, and Power Platform is Microsoft story there. That's what it is.
Right.
Okay,
So, guys,
thank you,
I
guys.
want to get in over here. So, as Sagar said, there is another app, means another use of custom control, custom connector he wants to show. Are you guys okay if it takes some more time? And if you don't mind, please let us know if you are still want to go with this. Otherwise, we can go ahead and take that session. Anyone who wants to leave, they can actually see the recording over here. So just if you can raise few hands, and we'll come to know whether you are still interested going ahead with use of our apps.
Or you can let us know on the chat window, right? Like we do not want to
Yep.
be. I know we know it's a weekend. It might take another. I don't know, Sagar, how long it might take? Another 15 minutes.
I'll keep it very fast. Like I'll show the main difference between how to leverage that particular custom connector over Power Apps. So it will take around 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not going to describe the custom connector side because you guys are already know about that, how to use the request and triggers and actions. So I'll just move to the that Power Apps, and I
Sure,
just show how to code that particular and leverage that particular thing.
sure. Go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let me show you what I have done in my custom connector. This this custom connector I have created for uh, sorry, to get the books detail, the Google books detail from his ISBN number. So I have done same thing which we have done earlier, like providing that name and host and other things. Then security again, there is no need of any authentication as of now. So now I have created the request for that, and the request is here along with the parameter. This is the the default parameter which we need to provide while we need to fetch data from Google Books. So these are the basic things. And yes, how response looks like, I'll just give me a second. I'll just add some books be here. So yeah, this is the response. Here it will list down the book with particular book and its detail for the particular ISBN number. Now in a fast forward way, let's move ahead in let's move for that canvas which I have created for leveraging that custom connector. Just a second. Meanwhile, is there any questions, Vivek? Uh,
Nope, there are no questions.
Yes. So, what is the basic motto to create this simple power canvas app? It's like I would just want to fetch the uh, details, the title and the author or the publisher and the description of particular book which is available over Google Books. Most probably we are techie guys, so we are reading books or Google books online. So sometimes it happens like we need someone told us that particular name and ISBN, so we can find out the whole description and other things of the books by using this particular Google App API. So first of all, let me show you the result of this, how it looks when I just clicking here. Let me find some ISBN. Yes, you will like this one. So what we are getting here is like the title and the ultimate book written by one of our champions, Somani, and the publisher. Also the description. I know the description is a bit uh, cutting at the downside, but due to some location issue, I couldn't win it because the description is quite big and we have a single app over here. So here what I have done is how I have leveraged that particular my custom connect. So from the scratch, what first we have to do is we have to include data source. That is first you have to create this connector. That is this one, get book by details. Once you have done with the is my voice is audible?
Yes, we can see it, Sagar.
Okay, thanks. Because sometimes it happens like I'm just okay, yeah. So this is my connector which I have created over here to get book details by ISBN. I have added my connector over here. Then what I need to do is I need to add the particular data source for it. That is the uh, default title. It is creating by default, and I don't have any rights to edit this name. That's why I have just kept it is. Then what it actually does. So here what we need to learn, custom connector. So we have to pass the default title, that is the connection over here. Then I'll have the get book details, that is my definition or the action name. Then I have to pass ISBN number which I want to search, that is this. What I have done is I have just collected that data in my particular local collection. That's why I have used clear collect, and then I have used clear connect as my data source of the gallery. So you can see here. So what I found is I just want to first name, and the book data is my collection. So whenever I click over here, it will represent the books with particular ISBN. Also, we can find some books like I'm a fan of Steve Jobs, so I like to read this one. So it will represent this book. So this is how how we can leverage the custom connector in the Power Apps. Earlier we did with Power Automate. Now it's Power Apps. Leveraging the custom connector in Power Apps is bit different. That with the Power Automate it is quite easy, but to utilize it in Power Apps, you need to do some collection and keep the data at local level, so you can utilize it in local level and show it over whatever the gallery or whatever the data table which you have used to bound those data. So this is the end of the second demo. Is there any question regarding this?
So thank you, Sagar. As of now, there are no questions. Guys, if you have any queries, you can please raise your hand. You can unmute yourself, or you can drop your query in the message box over here, chat. So thank you, Sagar. Meanwhile, for your
Yes.
session, it was very insightful and kind of a deep dive into how we can do that. We know actually getting into each and every, touching each and every point in all the manners is not always possible in hours time, but whatever we can do in 1 hour, we have done that, and it was really helpful. So you can surely go join the teams, the champs channels, whatever Roma had already presented. And if you have any queries, you can really reach out to Sagar Rupani. He is accessible on different medias as well. Or if you have any queries, he is actually active on the Kaizala as well as the LinkedIn. Okay. Thank you, Sagar. If you have any queries, please let us know. We are still there for a few more moments over here. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sagar. Thank
Vivek.
you, Roma, being part
Thank
of
you.
the organizer group. Thank you,
Thank you.
Prashant, Mukesh,
Thank
for
you all gents for organizing such a great event.
Thank you. Thank you, Vivek and uh, Roma, to organize this and taking up the time and continuing on the particular community forward. Also, just wanted to add, I know how much time that must have taken you, Sagar. So thanks for all those hours you have put behind in getting us to learning on the weekend. For all of us, it's just 1 hour, but I am very well aware how long it must have taken you. And I think there are other organizers as well, Prashant, Dhaval, and Dharani. I think we have Ankush also. So thank you for organizing. We do always look for local organizers in each of the coming up cities that we are going to continue all the way in August and September as well as speakers. So feel free to reach through any medium, and we can involve you. It's a community by the techies for the techies. So we will. Just like Sagar enlightened us today, maybe you will pick a topic and enlighten somebody else later. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sagar, for this session. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Happy weekend.